Welcome back to Pocket Rockets, and today we are going to be looking at probably the best paint job by a permanent marker ever. So painting your diecast car with a permanent marker or detailing it is nothing new, and it's probably the start of every single diecast car customizer, people who likes to modify their diecast cars, to personalize them. Permanent markers is probably the place that you should be when you just got started, and it usually doesn't turn out really great, but coincidentally, I actually managed to do a pretty good job painting a car with permanent markers. So yeah, I'm gonna share with you how I did it and some teeny tricks I think that might help. So this was the car that has been painted, and this is the car that has been painted with the permanent markers. So the car started its life out as a Mazda RX-7, featured in the Hot Wheels Fast and the Furious sets. This is one of the first releases, actually the second wave of Fast and the Furious sets, and it's an RX-7, and I absolutely hated it. So why did I hate it? Well, one, the hideous riced out decals. I know this car is really iconic, but you can't admit that it looks good. It looks horrible. But, and yeah, also another thing that I hate about it is the fact that it doesn't have the pop up and down headlights. It has the hideous safety headlights. So I decided to just, so I had two of these, and I was like, it couldn't hurt to just customize one. I mean, if I ruin it, I also have another one. And just to mention, just showing you guys some proof that I did not unrivet this car. This car still has the original rivets right there. And the back also has the rivets, and the base is still red, so that's just more proof I didn't spray this car. And yeah, this permanent marker actually has a really nice finish to it. Let me polish it off with my clothes. Right, that's even nicer. So it does have a pretty decent gloss. It does reflect pretty well. It's not just a very cheap black look, and I think the main trick to get a good paint job with your permanent markers is to use the wider heads more, because if you use thin heads, you will have lines like, so if you use permanent markers like these, which is very thin, you will leave, you will certainly color in the same pattern all over again, so you will have kind of those lines on the car, which is not lovely. And the occasional parts that I do use thin markers, or yeah, just thin markers, I use these really thin ones just for the detail. And yeah, they turn out pretty well. And for the mass coloring, such as the hood, roof, and the general side, you're going to want to use the thicker marker because, well, it's just a lot quicker to get done, and you won't color it over and over again, which looks hideous. And also another thing is only color the car once, and if you really don't like the way that it's done the first time, well, don't color it again immediately. Wait for it to dry so that you can have another shot at coloring it, and also press harder when you are coloring the first layer, because the first layer, if you get it right, is always the best looking. So yeah, that's my kind of a tip, and showing you guys this RX-7 that I colored with a permanent marker, and the paint job is just really nice. And also the rear lights and license plates and the details are the original details right there, and I just skipped around it using the thinner permanent marker. And also a thing to mention, I did swap the rims for the TE37s, which look really nice on this car. It looks really more JDM, and I generally looks better. So yeah, that's my little episode on coloring the best paint job with your permanent marker, and hope you enjoyed. If you like the channel, please consider subscribing. And yeah, that's Pocket Rockets here for today. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.